Hi everyone, you're watching FX. In this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week for main pairs based on my strategy. We are going to look at important levels, possible entry points, and of course we will start with looking at what happened previous week. It was again a very successful, profitable week, and so I'll share with you a little bit of where I was placing my trades, orders, and of course what going to look for a new week. So starting with euro dollar as usual. I'll try to be a little bit faster, so my videos try to make a bit shorter, so only very quick. So euro dollar, right? Remember we were here on Monday, and so I'm just making you this so you would look from the previous week, because I'm not making videos on the history, right? I'm making the videos a technical analysis, looking what happened previous week and what we are expecting for this coming week. So that's why you can understand a little bit more what I was telling you in my technical analysis and how I used it, okay, in the trading week. So you can also do the same. So here we go. Remember we were right here, and I was telling you that I would wait for a bit coming to this level, right? And then of course to the next quite very strong important area, and that's what I was telling you. I would rather wait for some consolidation. So I didn't have trades on Monday for euro dollar because I had some other trades, which I'll tell you about which ones. So as you can see, market had a little bit of movement inside, and then as you can see, it started to break, and it finally broke that level. So pretty much it was possible to place the orders, but for me it was not as good as, for example, I was trading pound dollar and gold. So that's why I didn't go for any trades here, but you see it's a possibility. That's why I'm always pointing you out, look at what levels you need to look. And then of course we were sitting next to the this level. It didn't consolidate around it, it just jumped away. Obviously it's an important level, so of course a lot of people were just buying from it without thinking. And so that's why it's jumped a little bit up, then it's like broke down a bit. And then once again, people were just trying to buy it because level is very important. The market was going down for a while, right, on euro dollar. So of course, everybody expecting a good correction. And that's why I was telling you there is another way of trading it, of course, is trying to, after such big movements, get into very important levels, trying to just, you see here, for example, you could have just bought, place your stop somewhere like quite reasonable distance, and then expecting a good correction. So it's another way of trading. I don't really like it much, sometimes I do, but this time I decided to go, not to go with euro this way. So, and you can see it's went up, and this is where it started to consolidate. This is where I had my trade. So I was placing my orders, pending sell order and pending buy order up here, because it had a bit of correction. You can also have a look at Fibonacci levels. It's reached like 32, I think. And so I thought, well, okay, from here it's either would continue the consolidation possibly, or we'll try to turn back to the level and try to test this level. So it's a kind of battlefield around this level. It was very predictable, which I was telling you about. This is an important level. So, and here you go, you see this is a good movement, and so this is another way of looking at it, okay? So, and afterwards I just I left it euro dollar. I didn't do any trades because obviously I was expecting it would be a bit messy, and to go for anything here, I didn't see it's a good option at that point. So I just want now to wait for a little bit to calm down around here, and then I would see what to do. So you see right now it stopped here, and of course if it would be very, very small channel, it could be a possibility placing orders for pending sell again back to this area, maybe trying to test it to finally break it, because it was trying hard. Of course, don't forget about the news. It's very important, right? Financial and political news. Euro dollar, so for Europe, and of course for America. That's pretty much why we jumped like on Friday, right? There was some political news and talkings about from America again. Even though like American news were a bit better, but some other news not as good, and that's why I can see it's jumped back up. So, and of course, I would rather to wait for it to maybe come back to this area, okay, and give me something around here. So that's where I will look at first possibility in here. If it's not going to go back in this area, for example, if it will just jump, somewhere in the middle, I'm not going to look at it. So I'd rather to see it back in this area. If it will go down, of course, if it will start to have finally a good consolidation around this area, maybe slightly below, just like it was trying trying to break it, then of course I would look at it, possibly finally to look for placing a trade, because as you can see during this week it was nothing like that. It was just trying to break it and testing it and fighting for this level. So I still want to have a good consolidation. So if any good consolidation, then I will be placing my orders. And of course, next, if it will continue down, we also have the level. Then we need to look at the bigger picture to see what is actually going on and what is this blue level. Do I actually need to pay attention on it or not? Because, you know, in MT4, it's a little bit not good. So you see there is no blue levels around here. So obviously we do have a bit of the main level. It's a little bit further away. That's what I'm saying. Always look at the bigger picture. So if there is, as I'm saying, it's a big consolidation here, then I would wait for it to go in another level. Okay, we're still in flat. It's a very big flat channel, and there is no trend at this moment. A small trend in the flat channel, so you need to consider it. So around here, once again, possibly, of course, turning around, need a proper correction. Of course, it's been a while going down without a good correction, so of course I would expect a possibility of it. All will depend again what the news is going to bring. So, but this is how it's technically. And of course, if it will break, then to the next level of the downtrend, the bigger downtrend channel. I'm still not removing and you see on the bigger charts, like on even on the monthly one, we are still kind of inside, yeah. So if they it's still possibility that we can go back up and create this a diamond pattern. So it still can be something like that. So I don't want to exclude this option. Even though on the small charts we pretty much broke it, and of course now it's more possibility of going down. And of course Brexit is soon. It's March. Maybe they will. Make Brexit, maybe it will be a little bit longer, delay. So of course it all influences euro too. Okay, so that's why, guys, right now all the levels are the same. So looking at all this around, going up around this area, going down, of course, this area, then to the next, and from here, of course, going up and see somewhere in the middle. And once again, check out where this level, if I need to pay attention on the small charts or not. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do with euro, dollar. Okay, pound, dollar. I had really good trades, and I'll go on the 1 hour chart. So it would be a quick view again. Once again, so why I'm showing it to you. Remember, I draw this pattern, which I call fish myself. That's my word, which also a diamond pattern. But like I'm saying, if it's a diamond pattern, it should change the trend. If it's fish, like I like it to call, then the trend will continue. Obviously, you can see, that's what I was telling you, with the opening the market, to see if it's going to have a nice straight movement, not jumps or anything. So you see it was continue moving very slow. Of course, I told you, check out the news. On Monday we had some news for pound. Of course, that's why I decided, like I didn't trade euro on Monday, I decided to go with pound, because it had a really good pattern. I pretty much gave you free signal, guys. So as you know, I always, if I see it, I'm telling you about, and you saw how many times you can check back on my technical analysis, all of these patterns I was giving you, pretty much all of them worked out pretty well. So here we go. So I placed my orders. I went down a little bit. So here I actually closed at 10 pips as usually, right? 30. Then it's turned around and went back again. And I went into the trade once again. That's another way I was telling you about. If you go, because sometimes when it breaks, right? And then it can turn around, like a little bit pull back and then continue its way. So if that's the way of doing it, when a good thing, when you can actually physically see it at the screen and watch it. That's what I'm saying. For the best trading, you really need to sit and watch it, especially when the movement starts, controlling the situation. Of course, if I would just place my usual, right now I'm doing manually, but if it would be like with my EA, automatically I would have just collect here 10 pips profit, because my EA wouldn't recognize that there is another trade would have been taken. That's why manually you can see it moved at 30 pips. I closed my half positions, as you know. Half positions were turning around, I come out with 0, and then you see it didn't break in and turned around, so I'm selling once again. So that's how you work with those breakout levels. That's how I do. So you see, then it went down, really good movement, and then of course I was waiting for consolidation. You see how my pattern works. Okay, so that fish, I continued the level, so it's giving me an idea where that movement goes. You see where it stopped, pretty much close to the level, and then started to consolidate. Of course, I was waiting for a bit more to see where it will start to break out and continue the way down again, possibly, right? So here was a bit messy with some news. I didn't go for it because it didn't prepare nicely for placing anything, except you see it's actually broke in quite designated area, right? You see with the level from the pattern and also from the a little correction, and could have been another good trade. Okay, so you see, I didn't take it, but it could have been another one. So then I had a little bit of correction here, and this is another trade I took. And where we stopped, once again, as expected. Remember when I told you if it's going to be my fish pattern? Some people are laughing at the names. Yeah, okay, I had a golden fish today, this week. So, and the tail of the fish gave me an idea, right, where it's going to stop. So you see it's moved down and it stopped again at the level from the pattern and in this orange area. Okay, so from the previous videos, you know what this area come from. And here we could have another trade, which I didn't go for, and now we moved up a bit. So that's how you work, that's how I work with the patterns, obviously, and with the rest of it during the week. So now, of course, I want to show you a bit bigger picture so you can see where this level came from. You see when it started to move all the way, I thought it could be maybe a shoulder, right? Head and shoulder. So it does look a little bit like head and shoulder pattern. And I was waiting for a possible, I would expect a possible maybe a little bit of shoulder and then turning back. But of course, you never know. It might continue again way up. As you can see, it started to go up at this moment with not very good news from US. And so it needs a bit of correction, right? A long way of going down, so it needs a bit of correction. So how I'm going to walk around it, like I told you, I don't care if it will go up or down, exactly where it goes. I need it just to go one or the other direction. So in here, of course, I would just wait for some consolidation around this area. I probably would not consider this level as much, but just anything in here. And of course the good distance, right? So it's about 40 pips going down. It's quite a good going back up. Of course, do not forget that it might be stopped by this area, okay, again, which is still around like what, 30 at least pips, okay? So if it will go to here, around, you can see it's about 39 pips. So that's what first entry point would be to look at. You see, if like last week I gave you a pretty good pattern, right now there is no pattern, okay? Right now there is nothing to look at specifically. That's why waiting here, and then of course moving possibly to this area. Maybe we'll do some consolidation once again, who knows. If not, going back to this area, okay, some consolidation around here, and then either going up or going down. And of course, if it will jump down, then I will just see what is going to be any consolidation around this level, and of course a possibility to continue the way down back to our area and maybe even breaking it, smashing it, going down, or maybe another consolidation around here. So that's pretty much it right now. Just looking in this area and any consolidations, patterns again, looking for entry points. That's it. It's not that difficult, I think. So, but last week was really, really good with the patterns. This week, not yet to give you exact, but you know the level. So here, look with dollar, Australian dollar. I had a losing trade in Australian dollar. This is one losing trade I had, and I'm going to tell you now why. So look at this. So we started to consolidate here where I draw that level. I said, so I'll wait for some consolidation between these levels, right, to have a channel. And then, of course, again, market can go up and market can continue the way down. So, and there was no channel. You see, on Monday it moved up, moved down. I was still waiting, and then it's created like a double bottom. So I thought it is a double bottom, and I placed my orders buy from this level. No sell, nothing, just a buy order, pending, right? And again, you see, that's why I don't like to trade on Asian, Australian session, Sydney session, because I can't control it, I can't see it. So obviously, you see, market moved up, but didn't move enough. So my 10 pips, because it was I placed pending order with the 10 pips take profit, right? And you can see it didn't move enough. So when I went to the market in the morning to see where I am, I saw that I was floating with the minus. Well, I was waiting because obviously, you know, when I'm showing you this, that means the stop are going to be somewhere below the channel, right? So as you know, stop losing, stop loss. So that's why I was waiting for it. Okay, it went down and it went up, and once again it stopped below the top. So, you know, I decided that again I will close the trade with a small loss. So I had about 10 pips loss on this trade, and then I was thinking that of course it might go back and then it might finally continue the way down. So, well, obviously you can see on Friday it went up, and I could have closed with small profit at least for the week closing, but I took a small loss. Okay, so that's how I'm saying, that's how I trade. That's my way doing it. So I decided not to risk it. Okay, but anyway, so you can see it moved up a little bit. So now I do really want to wait a little bit longer, for a bit better position. So you see, I shouldn't really like go with a little bit, should have waited for a bit better consolidation. But I saw a double bottom. It does look like it. So yes, there are sometimes things like this. They're happening. So it's not a big deal. Not a huge stop loss. So not much to be upset about, because the rest of the week other trades were all positive. Okay, so here we go. From here, of course, it started to stop here. We can see it's a little bit close to this level, and well, you can see it's about 30 pips down. So I wouldn't do anything until it will make a decision once again, maybe go to this level and start consolidate here, or maybe even between like it used to, and or go back in this area. So that's how I will be looking at Australian dollars. So right now I don't see anything exactly. I don't like to go for anything. Of course, remember I was telling you maybe it's a double bottom, a big one on the bigger picture. That's why I was expecting it to possibly continue the way up. But like I'm saying, you never know. It's Forex, right? It's a market. And remember, we still have these two tops. When if it will start to go up a little bit more, then we can draw that level and to see if that big movement will be stopped somewhere and possibly turning around. So, but right now, just looking at this area and any slowing down at the levels, right? Okay, or between the levels. So we'll see. But at this moment, there is nothing else, because it's pretty much in the bigger picture, it's a pretty much flat. At this moment, there is no trend. Remember when I was showing you the other weeks, my analysis, it's a big movement. When I was telling you, and it started to go up, and I was telling you I don't see a time for go for a long-term buy. Yeah, because I was telling you that there is no signal for any starting turning around trend or correction or anything. I would wait for any consolidation. As you can see, like previously we saw it, right? It didn't start straight away, so exactly it's happening right now. So it might end up as a triangle. Or we were expecting maybe it was a double bottom, and then afterwards, of course, it will be a decision. I kind of still, right now, I kind of more towards that maybe it will be actually triangle a little bit more. But at this point, it's a little bit too early to say something. So, of course, if it's triangle, it can go either continue the way down, or maybe it will finally have a bit of correction of this downtrend. But right now, we are pretty much in flat position. So this is how I see Australian dollar. So we'll see will I go for the trades or not. And here we go, dollar yen. So here you see where I was closing the same. Now you know what I'm talking about. When I had losing position last week, when I was sitting in here, and I decided to close it. So with like what I had, like 5 or 8 pips loss instead of my 60 pips loss, right? Because I was expecting, of course, it could go down, but we were in uptrend channel, and I were more towards going up. And it's exactly, you see what happened, right? What happened on Monday. And I was telling you that I would have placed in the orders buy from this level, but I didn't do it on Monday again. It happened on Monday. And you saw me, I was doing pound, dollar, and also the other pair. So that's why for dollar yen, this time I decided not to risk it and wait a little bit more. So it went up, and see, started to have consolidation like Monday, Tuesday. This is where I went for my trade. So it gave me a little pennant. Okay, and this is where I went up, and very close to our uptrend channel. Didn't reach it, like I'm saying, it's not always touching it. It might be a little bit below, a little bit higher, but anyway, around this area. Then it started to consolidate, giving a little pennant again, and that was before the news. So here I had another good trade. So that's pretty much it. Now it started to have a consolidation. I can show you what's this one. I'm looking at it now as a possible head and shoulders. Okay, you can see me right here, and obviously I can move this straight like that. So you see now kind of maybe it would be head and shoulders. So with the opening market again, it depends what the news are going to be. Of course, I would look what is, if it's not going to break hard up or down, then of course I will be using this a possible placing order sell. And of course, well, who knows, going to this level, maybe some consolidation once again, and continue down to next level or anywhere this area, right? So right now I'm looking at this as a head and shoulders. But like I'm saying, you never know, it could be 1, 2, and 3 wave movement too. So we will see again if it will go up a little bit higher to this level, and maybe it will start consolidate around here somewhere. anywhere, and then of course checking out how close we will be to the level. So at least 30 pips we do have, so that's why I need this jump and break that level, smash it, and start to consolidate above it. Okay, something above, maybe if it will go nicely, right, so I can draw this, and if it will start to consolidate right in the top, somewhere near that, maybe at the crossing of those levels, and giving me a good position, like placing orders to sell, and of course if it's going to be channel, placing orders buy, and possible continue and maybe touching the level finally. So that's how I think about it, and that's what I'm going to look at. And of course do not forget about this area, because you might end up a bit of the double top. Okay, so of course it's all quite possible a little bit higher. So could maybe to look at it a little bit like a diamond or like my fish pattern, but right now I wouldn't look at it because it's broke a little bit, but not too much. You see it's just a little bit of the below a previous shoulder, let's say. So we will see. That's what I'm saying. It might break it, not go all the way, but maybe somewhere in the middle. But if you do like I do 10 pips, then it's not a big deal, but need to bear in mind. So to go somewhere at least 10 pips to take. So that's how I'm going to look at dollar yen. Dollar CAD also had trade, and with dollar CAD is very easy. I also gave you a really nice pattern, right? A fish again or diamond pattern. Right now it's very difficult to say what is going to turn around. Diamond pattern will go up, fish will go down. But we are in here as expected, right? So went up, went down, touched the level, the previous shoulder, and went back, and at the level once again. You see on the bigger chart it didn't break it, except on the smaller chart it does look like it broke a little bit in here. But let's see how I looked at the trades and what I'll be looking. This is where I was telling you, look for double, possible double top. I was saying to you, if it will be messy like it was previous somewhere like this, I wouldn't go for any trades, but it did what was more expected, creating another top, right? One top and another top. So this is where as I said to you in the previous video, I will be placing the orders if it will give me double top or some consolidation. So it's pretty much gave me. Went down, gave like this little correction like a flag, double top. Here's the a bottom, a neck here a little bit close to this level, but obviously as we are in a pattern, right? We are in diamond pattern, and that's why expectation of it's not going to be stopped by this level, but go to the next area where the previous shoulder is. Okay, so that's how you look at it. So this is exactly where it stopped and turned around. Unfortunately, it didn't start to consolidate, so I couldn't. I didn't want to risk it and buy from here, which could have been possibly done as a pattern, just placing the stop a little bit lower. Or even, for example, below the level here, and to see if it will be turning around, because it did look like it was sitting in the pattern. So, but not my way of pretty much trading that way. So as you can see, double top, okay, went up, and we tried to break it. Here is also another level, which is, that's how you use the levels to see where this breakout, right, could have been stopped. So where we took this level from, obviously from the previous top, right? So here's the previous top, we had some touch-ups, and that's where you could go for this level to see is it a breaking, it will be stopped or not. So that's how you know, that's how you use the levels, okay? So that's how I use the levels to see. So that's pretty much it. I didn't go for sale on Friday, now as a pattern I'm sitting here, and of course my first thought would be a possibility of continue down as inside the pattern, right? So some consolidation here. So first I will look for consolidation around here, hopefully nice, not messy again. If it will be very messy once again, right, in this area, then I would think if I'll go for it or not. But if nice and good consolidation, of course, possibility continuing the way down and finally finishing the pattern. And then of course after that I would be expecting, depends what the news, continue the way down, okay, breaking it and go down. Also we see if dollar yen is a good pattern as a head and shoulder, so obviously both pairs kind of like giving me an idea that they might go down next week. Pattern, like I'm saying, it's not 100%. I will still wait for my consolidation. I really hope it's not going to smash it, okay? So that's how it is. So starting first, maybe it will go a little bit and start to consolidate somewhere here, or maybe it will go like a little flag okay, then of course would be possible to use this level for buy, and if it will be like a little flag, possible sell going here and possible small consolidation here and continue the way down. So this is like I'm a little bit more towards that it would be my fish pattern, not the diamond, but you never know, like I'm saying. And if there will be good news for American dollar, of course, we will be trying maybe going back up here, some consolidation once again around here, or maybe it will just break and start to do something around this level, of course, and I will look at possibilities, placing the orders both directions. This time would be a little bit more towards trying to going up to the next level. Okay, so that's my view on dollar CAD. Now we're going to euro pound. Euro pound didn't have any trades. This is going to be quick. We are here. I was telling you I would wait for some channel around here. It didn't create channel. It broke up the channel, started to consolidate here. Obviously, if you would place the order buy here and sell pending orders, right? So your buy order would go, you could come out here with 10 pips profit, then it went down. Once again, you could place the orders buy and pending sell, and this is another one, your 10 pips plus wherever goes to the level where I was expecting, right? With the movement up, expecting to go into this area to that level. So that's pretty much another two possible winning trades, which I mentioned in last week analysis. So here, you see it's I didn't go for it once again because I was doing the other pairs, and if you would look, it didn't give me anything much. It just turned around straight away pretty much, and nothing else. So once again, I would have looked at it, a possible consolidation between these two levels, once again, something similar to this, and using this as a place in pending orders buy and sell. Like I'm saying, I don't like it because it's quite wide for me. That's why I don't really like it as much. But of course, don't forget, if there will be any news for euro, pound, to go for it. Okay, if there are not many news, then it could also be not very big movements to even get 10 pips, but you never know. But this is once again the same, to look at exactly the same thing. And of course, once again, if it will go back up again, some consolidation around here and possible continuation with the movement up, of course you need to see where these blue levels come from, and if they could be stopping points, as you can see here, right? And of course, it could possibly go back inside. I didn't remove this one. It might still be going back into this area. Well, if not, then breaking down and just wherever it will be stopping, right? If it will break the bottom, see here, and this is where you're waiting for next consolidation. So that's pretty much how I see euro pound, which is also for a while like pretty much in a flat, which I was expecting. It's more like a pennant, right? So in a flat, but consolidation of the pennant. So that's why we're getting close to Brexit, and of course, with hard Brexit, I would see it more going back and go back to this penalty area of the tiny area here. So that's pretty much euro pound. Gold, that's what I was trading also on Monday. Remember here, right? This is the level. I waited a little bit opening on the market on Monday. I wasn't, of course, here when it's broke, because it's night for me. I was right here when it started break out. Like I told you, gold makes pretty good movements on Monday, so that's why I had paid attention on pound, because it had some news, and gold because it makes movements on Mondays. So when it started to beat some consolidation, this is where I placed my orders here to sell. No buy, you see, obviously here was no position for that option, and here we go, continue right to the one of the levels here, which I used from the previous, like a little slowing down here, a little bottom here. So that was my expectation on Monday. I thought maybe it will go here, then have some consolidation, maybe turn around, but it touched it and just jumped back. And I was waiting for next. Once again, I thought, well, okay, wait for next consolidation, because remember I was telling you that gold I will be trying to catch on the way down pretty much. So that's why I was not looking at placing any buy orders. Here we had some news, I didn't go for it. I just used this level once again, placing the pending orders sell. So, and then we had another good trade, and obviously also there was some news, and I didn't go for anything of this already, because I thought, well, it's pretty wide channel, because it's pretty much flat, as you can see. It's been resting, and of course after that resting, like I told you, another expectation was possibly it will still continue the way up. This the level, right, where I told you maybe double top, and you see it started to go to it. So now in this week I would wait for some consolidation around this top. So hopefully it will touch, will not jump down, straight away because I don't want to risk it like this, because this time it might break it, or of course at the same time it might be stopped by this level. So I'll just try to wait for some consolidation around this level a little bit. And then we'll see coming back to this level, maybe once again some consolidation, go down to this level. Of course, with the Monday, like I'm saying, it could be good movements. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it will move straight away, and then afterwards start to do some consolidation. Let's have a bigger picture. What is actually my kinda-ish plan? So like I'm saying, it could be double top, but I can't exclude the also an option that it might still continue the way up, right, and smashing all of these levels. That's why I need to be a little bit careful before looking for a little bit better sell and a good catch something like this, right? So we right here broke that level, so I draw it back because look at this, it's been for a while coming to this area and then having some sittings around this area, well, kind of breaking it, coming back. Here we had a really good triangle. Remember, I was trading that too. Making videos, and also we were sitting here, which was also looking like a double top for a while before it started to have a good move. So exactly the same I can see here. It could possibly be, if it will smash that level, it might still go to this and even up to this one, and then maybe for a while we'll sit in such a wide range like it used to, except yes, we do have a little bit of narrowing. Maybe it will just sit and stay between these two levels. I can see this also an option if it will not smash it, okay? If it will not break it, then I could expect that for a while. And of course, after that, as we are going for a while in this uptrend channel, then maybe it would have enough, and finally we'll try to break it and even go even higher to the next level. So it's, you see, this is the danger with gold. It's very dangerous. That's why here it might have a bit of consolidation, and instead of going down like it has to be, you see, it's already went once, okay, twice, and now it's the third time, and the third time could be a lucky time. You never know, so it might still jump up. Well, of course, the news, we will see what kind of news will bring us. If there will be good news from the US, of course it's going to go down. So that's pretty much, of course, like it might go down. If it will not break, then maybe that would be a little bit more of going through here, and then after that breaking and continuing the uptrend channel. You never know, but this is the first thought, and of course it's a long way to talk about, but as we're getting closer again to this area, right, between that level and going up, that level is huge, right? We have a lot of possibilities to play between it. And what I do really like about this, when it starts to consolidate in such big ranges, you know that we have uptrend, which will definitely, well, kind of like will change to the downtrend, then downtrend change to the uptrend. So if you will get into some bad trade and will decide to leave it floating, you have slightly more opportunities to get out with profit. It will come back to where you went into the bad trade. There is the benefits of when it starts to sit for a while, but usually I would go for a couple of waves, like 1, 2, and the third wave. After third wave, I would be a little bit more careful. So that's why, like I'm saying here, guys, from here, obviously, that's why we'll be looking at any consolidation, and we'll see if it's going to be nice and possible for continue the way up. And possible turning around. Nice, I mean, entry points like you see here we had, right? All really nice ones, but pretty much just one direction. I mean, of course, could have placed the orders buy, but like I was saying, we were going up for quite a while. That's why I was preferred to place in only sell orders. So now we're going to pound yen, and pound yen actually worked out also fantastically with the levels. We had a huge channel which I told you about. So here we go, placing orders buy, pending orders sell. Here you go up to the next area. Then it went down, didn't consolidate here, but what did it do? It's created your pattern. Look at this little shoulder, head, another shoulder, right? You see this, the area of the shoulder. And you have a neck and perfect only sell order position. Here we go all the way down, even smashed it. You could move your stop just like I'm telling you. Then it started giving another head and shoulders. Okay, great head and shoulders. A little bit of neck area would be a little bit below, and even if you would use that level to place pending orders, here you go. We are back pretty much into this channel again. So perfect 2 beautiful trades. You could have 3, right? 1, then 2, and then 3. 3 extremely wonderful trades. What else can I say? It's a beautiful week. Another wonderful, profitable week. And now what with this? Well, I would for me it would be best to go inside here, right, in a narrowing area, and of course placing again pending orders sell from this level and pending orders buy from that level, and then see maybe continue that level if it will start to break it. If it will go down, of course, using that level, maybe it will have some consolidation again like it was here. But right now there is nothing I can tell you as it was, right? So nothing, just now just a waiting time where it will start to consolidate up or down. If it will start just to be something narrow underneath, I would be a little bit more careful, because obviously from here now to there is, you see, very low. You see it's only like 30 pips. It's very small for pound yen. Here we had a good range from here, right? We had 60 pips at least, which is pretty good for pound yen. Here is very, very narrow. That's why placing from here I wouldn't do so. I would rather to see if it will start to sit between this again, get a bit narrow when it's they crossing each other, right? Then it would be a little bit safer, say it that way. So, but first, as I'm saying, okay, a possible come back to this area and just some consolidation between it. You see, like how it was here, head and shoulders, or maybe here will be pennant. So that's it, guys. It's still a long video. Once again, I'm trying to give you as many details as I can, because a lot of you are learning it and want to know a bit more about it, how it's all done, how I think, and what I look at during the week, pretty much every day. And that's how you could follow and see and whatever. Learn something. So don't forget to subscribe if you like the video, like it, and happy trading everyone, and I see you next week. Bye everyone.